The more pictures you see, the better you are as a photographer.
It's a weird combination that makes a great picture. It's a complete mystery to me. Hey, welcome to the Street Shots Photography Podcast. This is Antonio.
And this is Ward.
And we're at episode 249 for the end of February. I feel like I've just spoken to you 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And for the area code, what are we area code now? You should say it. We're in your neck of the
Canadian
woods.
for a change. Yay, back to Canada.
Yay,
we're in Africa. We're in the Caribbean. Now we're back in Canada. 249 serves the Canadian province of Ontario, what we would call loosely Northern Ontario, which is actually the middle of Ontario. Northeastern and central regions, including Sudbury, Barrie, Sault Ste. Marie, and North Bay.
It's part of the NAMP.
NAMP.
There's no two P's.
Yeah.
I also realized I had to put it in the show notes that when you said BAMF, that I haven't heard words with two F's at the end, and I had one of those head slap moments, like, how stupid could I be? Yes, of course I've heard words with two F's, but why do they say BAMF? Why do people joke in BAMF rather than
just because it's got two F's and it's
No, we don't say staff. Staff.
Well, maybe when you
Right?
first see the word, maybe you do.
Well, maybe
I don't know.
first as a kid. Anyway,
Kid,
yes.
whatever.
Yes. Hi, Ontario. How are you guys?
Yeah.
There's got to be
Hope
someone
you
in Ontario
didn't get
listening
that.
to us.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so good to be back in Canada with our area.
Yeah. It does say that it's overlaid with area codes 705 and 683 to serve north of Greater Ontario area, GTA, otherwise.
Yeah, GTA.
Grand Theft
Or
Auto.
also, too, there's and I don't know whether they still do it anywhere, but the kids used to call the GTA the 6 after the 416 area code. They used to call it the 6, and that's Toronto. Yeah.
When did they say? When did they do that?
Oh, 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Crazy kids,
started
right?
calling it the kids, the hipster people.
Those guys, the ones, yeah.
Yeah. So if you hear it's like, where are you from? I'm from the 6. You're from the GTA. You're from the Greater Toronto area.
They used to call
not Toronto. It's Toronto.
Toronto.
Okay. Toronto. Yeah.
They used to call Times Square the Deuce.
Oh, 42nd.
Yeah. 42nd Street. In fact, there was an HBO show, I think it was HBO, called The Deuce with Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. And a few other people in it. What's his name? I can't remember his name now. But he played two parts in it. He played I think, two brothers. Franco. I can't remember. Anyway, forget about Times Square. It's like,
we're not going to be there anytime soon. So
yes. The Times Square, I don't know if it lost its appeal after it got cleaned up. I mean, it's kind of fun to go there, but, when it was dangerous, it was kind of cool. But I never went yes, I did go when it was dangerous. But, and now it's Disneyland, but relatively safe. And I think you can still find very strange goings-ons, I should say, in Times Square these days. So in the Deuce, yeah.
The Deuce.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a interesting weekend. How about you?
All right. Well, we'll talk about that, I guess. I'm okay, actually. Let me think. A couple of things. Well, I'll talk about them in the show. So, like, things I want to talk about are photographic related. So, but other than that, we had this, like, not freak snowstorm, but like a snowstorm that they were saying, oh, we're only gonna get like 1 to 3 inches or trace amounts. And we got some places in Lincoln got 9 inches of snow. And I think this is the same storm that's hitting east right now. So I'm looking at the news and people in New York. I think the snow stopped, and it's Monday, so the snowstorm stopped. But I think New York City got roughly, or some places in New York City got 2 feet of snow, which I have not seen in an incredibly long time. Maybe I don't know. I think the last one was like 2010 or 11 or 12 in New York, where the city basically shut down. So it's just interesting to see that kind of snowfall in New York. And I remember going out in that snowfall with my. Oh wait, no, it must have been in 2015 or 14 because I had my X100.
Okay.
And I wrapped it in a Ziploc bag. I cut out a little hole for the lens. I reattached the lens
hood,
lens shade on top to sort of lock it in place. And I think there was on my X100 there's a UV filter on it. So, and then I could stick my hand kind of. Well, I actually didn't have to stick my hand in the bag. I just zipped the bag closed, and I could see the screen, and I could just I could manipulate most of the controls through the bag. So. It was. Let's see if I can find that picture of me holding this hefty bag. But I think that was the last time we had a big snow, and those are really fun times to go out and photograph in the snow when it's kind of like that. So anyway, yeah. So that's all we had. Town shut down a little bit here in on Friday.
Where do you live? So, Lincoln.
Yeah. Lincoln. Yeah. That place named after our, what is it? I can't remember what number president he is. So
5, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember.
5th president? I don't think he's the 5th president.
Oh, I don't know.
No,
I don't. I'm a student of certain American history, but not others so much.
Well, so what else is up? What non-photographic things can we talk about before we start talking about stuff?
What non-photographic things?
Yeah.
It's been a good couple of weeks. Weather's moderated. It's not freezing cold. It hasn't been really. We got I think it's the first day in maybe 3 weeks that we're above freezing. So that's good, and the commute is fine from work, and things are going well, and if a little boring, but that's fine.
Boring is good. Means nothing crazy is going on, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, watch the Olympics. My wife and I every evening would watch repeats of the Winter Olympics, and we really, now that streaming is fully on in our home, it's really great to watch an event from beginning to end. It's sort of like watching a live satellite feed. So you're watching the venue maybe 10 minutes before anything goes on, including announcing or anything like that. So it's sort of like you're really there.
It's like you're there.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So
we watched, Angie and her daughter spent a little bit more time watching the figure skating, but we watched some downhill skiing. I was very impressed by a lot of the photography that was being done. There was I think a first person drone shot when one of the downhill skiers came out of the gates or something like that, and I was pretty amazed by that. I didn't know it was a first person drone until I saw something later on in a story pop up that someone was using the goggles. So I was just imagining though that they had to really practice and they have to know what they're doing, because I can't imagine that thing crashing into somebody.
I did see a documentary that the Canadian broadcasters put together about the drone pilots, and they pulled them in from all over the world. The scariest one for me to watch were the drones chasing the bobsleds, because they're inside that closed track.
I did not see that. How was that?
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy. It was great. They're going, 75, 78 miles an hour at their fastest, right? And to be fair, the drone's only really following them the first top third, I think,
not going the whole
of the run.
Yeah. That is crazy. that is really crazy because imagine the practice that you have to have. So you got to run as a drone pilot. Also, I'm wondering if they switch out drone pilots because they have to have the batteries are charging. I don't know what they do to be able to.
Well, what I seem to notice in the broadcast, at least of the bobsleigh, is they get down to the place and then it exits the track and it kind of goes into a kind of a dark lane where it presumably crashes or stops or whatever. And they're just those little tiny ones, right? Those racing ones, like
yeah.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
And they're probably shooting 4K, so they're doing pretty high resolution stuff.
Yep.
And then I did see a story, and I didn't watch it, but in the figure skating, there was a guy on the ice who was an ex-figure skater.
He was a professional figure skater. Yeah.
Yeah,
dressed in white, kind of a tuxedo kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and had a rig, which I thought was really interesting, and I wondered how that affects I guess they all have to practice together, so he understands the moves and stuff, but how he doesn't distract from the performance or something. That must be interesting.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Anyway, the camera work and the photography, at least video work, I haven't seen the stills yet. Oh, well, actually, speaking of...
I've seen quite a few stills from the photographers that I follow on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, and?
They're like your Sports Illustrated high-end rings in the background. Got to have the rings in the background,
Yeah.
And the speed skating, which I've come to really appreciate now over the years. And
yes. Yeah.
And seeing some of the same faces that I saw here in November, it was really kind of, and I explained to my wife ad nauseum about this is how this works and that's how that works. And she's like, okay, I just want the Canadian to win. Okay. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to be able to photograph winter sport, although I don't like being out in the cold, but it just seems like that it's like a really good energy and especially skiing and stuff like that. That would seem to lend itself some really good photography. And I remember doing a lot of editing stock photos from people who were photographing skiers, and that photography was always really cool. So, yeah, it's anyway. But speaking of winter sports, this is one thing I can start talking about. Is went to my first hockey game here in Lincoln. On I forgot the day already. Saturday.
Was it Saturday? It was Saturday.
Saturday night, yeah.
Because I went out on a date night with my beloved, and we were
I'm
texting each
you
other
while you're dating. You're like,
I'm having my Chinese
stop
food.
Texting me.
No. Well, I inundated you after, so it's all right.
Okay. You made up for that. Yeah, I know. I had 17 messages from you at some point. But anyway, if we can talk about that, what you were messaging me about, that'd be cool. But it's a small arena, rink. I don't know how you call it, but it was a full size arena. Yeah, I mean it's a full size skating rink, but it felt kind of intimate. It was nice, and it's the Lincoln Stars, and they were playing against a team from Fargo, North Dakota. I forgot their name, but there was a
Fargo
Canadian
Force, I think. Fargo Force,
maybe it was that. Yeah, there was a Canadian flag hanging up.
USHL.
Yeah, there was we had the American flag and the Canadian flag hanging up in there, which I thought was interesting. And I think I pointed out one guy who was from your area. At least I remember his name, Loomer, I think was his last name. These young guys, and I don't know a thing about hockey. So as much as you could explain to me, actually, I know that they got to get the puck in the goals,
in the net,
in the net. And there's a lot of back and forth, and there's something about the blue lines. But this might be a side note here, but you have to explain to me about the fighting, because when fighting started, everybody in the audience stood up, and there was a lot of cheering and stuff, and the referees or whatever they're called didn't do anything for like 15 or 20 seconds. There was actually one fight that was really. They were going at it, and the refs sort of stood back for a while. And so I didn't understand how this is part of the game. So sorry, this is not photography, but this is where we put on our learning hats here. Tell me.
So there's a whole bunch of converging things. I think the mistake a lot of people make is they think it's part of the culture of hockey. It's not. We think it is, but it isn't. So it's like, oh, if you're getting into hockey, you're going to fight. No, you don't have to. You don't have to subscribe to that at all. And there's rules about the kids, in the junior ranks when they're peewee and bantam and midget and all these different, different age groups up to I guess high school age. There's no fighting allowed. There's no hits from behind allowed. There's no boarding. It's an automatic, you eject from the game, whatever. The rules may have changed. I haven't been to a junior hockey game in a long, long time. But anyway, so it's not. So thing about hockey is there's a lot of testosterone. There's a lot of energy expended. And if you watch the players, it's not like soccer where you make a big deal about the substitution of the player. It's sort of like number 6 is going out, being replaced by number 8. There's none of that. It happens dynamically during the game. So a shift, which is the amount of time you spend on ice during live play, typically isn't any longer than 90 seconds. Minute and a half, you're back on the bench. It's like this cycling thing that happens. So there's a lot of energy expended to the point where like you can't breathe. You got to get back. You got to go back to the bench or whatever. So there's a different way that the kids use their energy. Combine that with being able to skate really fast, and the amount of effort it takes to really hurt somebody is very little. You can skate somebody going by 25 miles an hour, have the stick in the wrong location, hit him in the torso somewhere or hit him in the face, and you draw blood. Like it's kind of an immediate thing. So when you're in this kind of heightened state of energy expenditure and testosterone, when something happens, the flip from the efficient transfer from being from being upended or hit or hurt to being angry, it's a straight line, and so they get angry right away. And some officials, some coaches, some leagues believe in this, letting them get it out of their system for the first 20 seconds or whatever until there's a clear winner, and someone seems to be really kind of dominating. Then they'll separate them, and then they'll go to the penalty box or have a game misconduct or whatever.
Okay.
So that's kind of the mechanics of it. I don't really, I'm not a big fan of fighting in hockey, but I definitely grew up watching it a lot. My dad was in a senior hockey. My dad was a senior men's hockey goalie. And I have a very vivid memory of when I was 10 being a goal judge over my dad. Like there was in this small rink in our small town. You have to climb up this terrifying 20-foot wooden ladder up to this box. It's a goal judge box that you peer straight down on your dad at the net. And, I remember my dad being not a great goalie, so I was turning the light on a lot. But there was a lot of fighting, a lot of cursing, and it was just in that kind of senior men's rec league, beer league kind of thing. Some of the boys, some of the younger ones, they were in it to mix it up. And so they would fight and that sort of thing. So there's a bit of I don't think it's truly a tradition in hockey, but it's easy to get into. You watch an NHL game and it's a lot of, kids are trying to emulate what they see in the NHL, which is not helping because there are fights that happen there too.
So
it's just the energy, what's required to get you in a fighting mood doesn't take much.
I see. Okay. Well, it was interesting.
So the officials, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, it was interesting to see that happen, and like even the audience seemed to let go of some energy as well. It's almost like, everybody's frustrated up to a certain point, and so that makes a lot of sense. Anyway, it happened.
I'm not a fan of it, and I don't like it when the audiences think it's part of the game.
Yeah.
Like it's like, we're just going to get in and mix it up. Oh, I hope there's some good fights. I hope there's some good hits.
Yeah.
It's got to be some finesse. You want to watch good play. I do anyway.
Yeah. Well, anyway. I did not bring a camera with me other than my iPhone, and pretty much every seat in this place was good, and we were just below the glass protector around the rink, and so every now and then I would pick up my iPhone and I pushed the I pushed the telephoto as far as could go, and was trying to follow them and taking some pictures. And I think I got a few good pictures. If I can remember to put them in the show notes, I'll certainly put it as the maybe I'll put one in the as the MP3 cover shot.
Yeah, sure.
But it made me think that I think a long time ago, and I might have mentioned this in a previous show, when between junior high school and high school, I went to this summer camp. No, it couldn't have been. Well, no, they did play hockey. Sorry, I went to the summer camp in upstate New York, New York State Summer School of the Arts. And we did get a chance to go to the Empire State Games. And I think there was an indoor hockey match, even though it wasn't like a Summer Olympics. There was a lot of different sports. But there was a hockey match inside, and I think I remember photographing it. But when I was photographing this with the phone, because of course I was just a spectator, watching it, I thought there was a lot of potential for good photography in hockey.
Yeah.
There's
Hockey's
a lot of
hard.
these moments. Yeah, I can tell, yes, because first of all, I had a hard time even seeing where the puck was. I think it was just luck when I got it,
Okay, there's a trick there. Don't chase the puck. Don't look for the puck.
Look for the guys.
Look for the direction the bodies. It's sort of like a flock of birds. They all kind of move in unison, and they kind of go in a general direction where the puck is. And so look for, and then once you start understanding the game, you'll see, well, these guys are defensemen. They're going to hang back a little bit, and then the forwards are going to be kind of going back and forth more towards the opposing net, and you kind of get a feel for where players are going to be. I would say what few pictures I've taken at hockey games, the better ones have been when I was in the corner. Like if you go to, I'm a big proponent of going to rec league games, or you've got a friend who's a parent who's got like a teenager, whatever. If there's no restrictions on photography, just go and shoot. I mean, teenagers now can skate and make as interesting photographs as the pros do. And when you go to these junior hockey leagues, and certainly in the NHL, they don't allow photography. They don't allow anyone with a camera that's anything close to pro level. So if you could go into a rec league game or, a kids organized community league, it's great fun. And I guess part of it is I never really had a long lens, but I do.
Well,
now.
These guys were young too. Apparently there were some really young guys here. And I wonder if the smallness of it would also allow cameras, because I didn't see any photographers there. So
just call the front office. Maybe you can get a little gig as doing work for them too.
Yeah. Well, but just the potential, what I got when I looked at the pictures, I was sending you I think the pictures while I was photographing them while we were watching the game. And
black and white too, very arty.
Well, I have to say that I was somewhat inspired by you when your black and white ice racing shots. And so I was thinking that I was looking at the color and I was like, everything kind of blends in and doesn't really look. And I said, well, let me just drop the color out. And I actually began to like it. And there was we were behind the, I don't know, where the players are resting and waiting.
Yeah, the benches.
The bench, and every now and then some of them would turn around and I would get like a shot of a profile of them or something like that. And I thought, oh, these could be really interesting. And it felt like there could be, I don't know how to describe it, like a dramatic kind of like Renaissance style picture where they're all sort of bunched up together, and they're like when they're in that little mini face-off that they do, and then there's the scrum or something like that. And I thought they're all piled on top of each other and you can see through their I don't know, there was something about that I thought could be very, very dramatic. And I was really hoping to get a shot. I might have one or two, I have to look, but again, they're phone shots, so the detail isn't great, but I thought they're worth sharing, so I might put those up. But anyway, I kind of wish I had my camera with me. I don't think they were busting chops with cameras there, so I might have been able to.
But I'd call the front office. Maybe they don't have a photographer. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
because they'll tell you what the rules are. Sometimes they're enforced by the league. They won't let. I know in the Western Hockey League here, you can't take a camera in.
Yeah, it might be the same there. I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah,
but anyway, that was one of the things I did. So tell me what you were all the messages you were sending me about. What was that?
All the messages I was sending you so I got up on Saturday and I had we still have the Exposure Festival going on, which is the photography thing for the city and towns outside, including Banff. The White Museum in Banff has a photographic exhibit. I don't think I'll make it out to that one, but I went to visit a gallery kind of late in the morning on Saturday to see Fred Herzog pictures.
Oh, really?
And they were most of the same pictures that are in his latest book called Fred Herzog, A Color Legacy.
Right.
So that's the book I think you have, and now I have, because I bought it
have.
there, of the orange cabs lined up in Vancouver. And that picture's from 1968. So, so most of them were inkjet prints. I think they were all inkjet prints that were requested by Fred Herzog himself. He was still alive then, in 2005, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Most were 20 by 30 inches. So
wow,
pretty nice and big enough to stand, and you close enough, you're immersed by it. I really think they nailed the Kodachrome color. It's a proper art gallery, so the color, the lighting in there was the right temperature, and it was kind of perfect viewing, actually. And pictures that I'd never seen before. Pictures of kids kind of...
They were from that book, yeah?
Yeah, they're in the book, the ones that... But I hadn't seen them. It was before I bought the book. So there was a lot of like, oh, I think I know where that is. And, being to Vancouver once or twice, I'm like, I think I know where that is. But this is all 50s, like 50s and 60s. These images were captured. Yeah. So... And it was really great. I think there's some pictures from Mexico in there as well. Back alleys with broken down cars in the back alley and so on. But no, I really enjoyed it. It was funny. There was a group of young people in their 20s, and the gallerist came shortly after I came in the front door and said, "Oh, we're having a private function, but you're welcome to stay and whatever view." I'm like, okay, whatever. It turned out it was someone's idea on their 25th birthday to come to an art gallery.
Really?
To have a party. I'm like,
wow.
Oh, with a
really
photography exhibit. I mean, who
Herzog
are these cool
exhibit.
kids? They're a Fred Herzog exhibit. Exactly. Like, what was my generation doing? Like, nothing like that. So anyway, so they were kind of gathering. They're getting ready. They were drinking Prosecco at like 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, well, okay, well, great. This.
There's no bad time for Prosecco.
There's no, I suppose
just so
not.
You know that. Yeah.
Okay, but it was like, it struck me. I'm getting to be a cranky old man. I'm like, you kids, you can't. No, but wait, they're in a photo exhibit for a birthday party. Are you kidding me? Anyway, so they're kind of getting all together and whatever, and they're kind of getting ready to wrap up. And the gallerist said, "Are you a photographer?" Well, yes, I am. Could you take a picture?
Did you do that?
Could you do a group
like,
picture?
Hey,
no,
hey, yes, of course. Don't I look like a photographer?
I like to think I am. So anyway, it was like I got to take the official iPhone shots of the group, which is
nice.
Two horizontal. I got an order: 2 horizontal, 2 vertical, and then a horizontal 15-second chatterbox thing where they're all chatting to each other, and it was 15 seconds of that, which they were going to post somewhere. Like,
that's funny. Wow.
Okay, so like I enjoy. I got in there. I got to see the Fred Herzog book, the Fred Herzog work. I bought the book, and got to take pictures of people at maybe the coolest art party that I've ever seen. We
were talking about, was it Ernst Haas's work last time about the dye transfers? It was him?
Yeah.
Or was it?
Yeah. So I talked to the gallerist about that. I said, what's the deal with Fred Herzog and dye transfer prints? Like I said, you've got some here that just say archival pigment. Are those dye transfers? He says, no, they're all inkjet. And he said he wasn't sure at all that Fred Herzog had dye transfer prints, but he was gonna look it up. But he didn't think so. He said all the work that he'd seen had been these inkjet ones that Herzog wanted to, in his advancing age, wanted to create.
It'd be nice if they oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just say most of them were series of 30.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite a few prints, but that's fine. I mean, maybe the prices will come down or something. They were pretty expensive. There, just as you can buy them off the wall. And there were a few that were purchased. I noticed there was the 2 pink dots beside the blurb, which was, I think, means that it was sold.
Oh, wow. Did he have, I mentioned this to you when we were texting back and forth, but like, it seems like he put something red in every picture. And I don't know if you sent me an image that didn't have red in it, but it did.
I did. It was an early morning issue or early morning image of
it was a street
kind
crossing,
of the fog clearing. Yeah, it was along, some Canadian cities have this usually on either side of a road that passes under a railway underpass. The sidewalk is very wide. It's like 20 feet wide. It's kind of a typical thing of at least Western Canadian cities, maybe in others too, where the sidewalk is kind of sloping down and then, it's beside the road. And I can only imagine that from the point of view where that was taken, that it just came out from underneath the railway overpass. An urban one.
2 guys in hats, right? Walking.
Yeah.
So there is red in that picture.
Oh, okay. Well, I was looking on a phone, so where's the red?
In the crosswalk sign, it says "wait" in red. Unless it's yellow. I can't tell, but it looked in the shot that you're sending me. It looks like it's a red wait sign. I don't know if that's the case, but
okay. Well, I sent it from my phone, so I guess I didn't see it. But
no. I was like,
there seems to be red.
It says, and there's a bus stop there in the back, and it also says bus stop in red. So anyway, it's just one of those little nitsy things that I wonder if he just always wanted to include red in his pictures. Yeah. It was just a lot of red around for him to be able to capture.
Well, all that neon along, Burrard Street, and there's just some fantastic, like, brings the time back. I mean, that's what I really, you go through those Herzog pictures and it just, the quantity of neon there in the 50s and 60s along that main north-south main drag there in Vancouver is definitely brings the time back. So I'm between this and Modern Color, which my aunt in Vancouver actually still has. I got to get it from her. My wife reminded me I should just have her mail it back to me. But it's I have Modern Color and now I have Color Legacy, 2 books. So happy to have them and happy to see the Herzog Gallery exhibition. So yeah.
The book. What's the name of the book again? I just spaced out.
A Color Legacy.
Color Legacy. I think
is the new one.
I think those are unpublished works. They were found by his. Is that right? Am I thinking of that right?
No. Well, most of the prints that were made in 2005, 2006 are in that book.
What am I thinking?
So maybe there are a few that I don't. I haven't read any of the content of the book yet, so.
Yeah, sorry,
maybe I'll do that tonight.
Confusing him with somebody else who had pictures that were not seen before. So was this Saul Leiter? I can't wait. I think I mentioned it last time. This is what happens when we're getting old. I can't remember yesterday. So, but
that's all right. Me neither. I'm really bad with names and places and things and stuff to do. And
who are you?
Up in the morning.
Who am I talking to?
Yeah. Who
Sir, I don't even know who I'm talking to.
Look at this computer. It's amazing.
Last week, I was invited by a photography camera club in New York to speak to their members we did a Zoom call.
Is this an old, like, you knew of this club before? Like, were you?
Yes, I actually,
or anything?
I have not been part of them, but I have, let me just see if I can remember the name. Why am I spacing out on the name? Park West Camera Club. They are. Let me just double check that. Let me see. PRK Park West. Yep, Park West Camera Club, based out of New York, and their website is parkwestcameraclub.org. And I don't. Let's see. I mean, I don't know how long they've been around, but I think they have been around for a while, and I have spoken to them at least twice, maybe 3 times. And this time they had reached out to me knowing that I had moved. I think some of the members follow me on my page on Facebook or something, knew that I moved out here and wanted me to sort of talk about that. And yeah, so I, of course, in the last minute, which of course is what I do, I always wait for the last minute to create a presentation.
Right. Well, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Did sort of a riff on the article that I wrote for our Substack called The Fourth Epoch.
Right.
And I thought I would do that because it might, well, first of all, I think that's kind of what my story is about. It's really strange to do a sort of presentation about me. Like, I'm not really into me. And every time I do one of those things, it feels a little weird. But that's what I'm there for. They want to know about what I'm doing and stuff like that. So, right. I don't know. Do you ever have did you ever have to do a presentation on yourself that is?
Well, I did at the camera store. I did a talk about the book, about the rodeo book that Mark.
I remember that. Yeah,
I did it myself too. Mark couldn't make it. Otherwise, we'd do it together. It might have been better if we done it together. But yeah, I was talking a lot about our process, my process. I did this, I did that, whatever. But I'm trying in the back of my mind. I'm saying this is just how I did it. People honestly don't know where to start. If I can share with them what I did, that'll give them ideas, at least to say, oh, that's a good idea. Or, oh, I would never do that. Just something to bounce your ideas off. Right.
Yeah. And I know it's educational and like, it's still just, I'm not used to it. That being said, I had to really tell my story because the story of me moving here and what's going on is integral for me for the past 5-6 years. So,
right.
And I thought that made good, like just a good, made a good story. Say. And so I'll put a link to the video if anybody wants to watch it. I'll put a link in the show notes for it, but it's the parkwestcameraclub.org. And on their main page, you can sort of scroll to the bottom and it says recent events. I think it's on YouTube, so I can link the YouTube video. And
cool.
And it was a wonderful experience. I haven't done a Zoom presentation in a while, so it was a little awkward, but I think it's a great way to have, people get to see the work and hear directly from me, and the fact that we're doing Zoom means a lot of people can come into the door and I could, the reach is greater. And in fact, I had met a photographer we went to this town called Ashland, the weekend, this was last Monday. And so the weekend before, met a photographer and we were talking and he noticed the Fuji cameras. I was walking around with my whatever Fuji camera and he was carrying his Olympus pen. And so, that's always the, hey, what kid is, and you're like, oh yeah, wow, and so we exchanged contact information.
Same all over the world. Yeah.
I know. It's the camera is, it's interesting to think the camera is a sort of a invitation, to a lot of things, especially meeting new people. So anyway, I invited this new friend that I met in Ashland. I said, I got his number. I said, if you want to, hear what I'm about, hear my story, there's this opportunity at the camera club. And they were gracious enough to allow him to be part of it. And I also had Angie in the other room. She got a chance to see my show too. So it was nice to have, sort of people I knew and watching, which made me a little bit more nervous. This way. I don't know why. When there's people I know, I get more nervous.
Blessing and a curse always. Yeah.
Yeah. But it made me think about like wanting to have more of that kind of thing going on. Like not that I want to be presenting, but I like sharing information like that. And yeah, Zoom is not the best thing, but it does allow a far reach, and it's an interesting way to get to talk to people. And the questions at the end were really interesting too. So it was I don't know, it's just very fulfilling for me to do something like
Is
that.
it,
So
well, cathartic is too strong a word, but did it feel good to tell your story?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It did, and what was nice was that I keep some notes on the side, but once I start seeing the pictures, like I start knowing I know my rhythm and my story and what I'm going to say, and like I almost don't need notes. And I realize like that's the way I need to present is by looking at my pictures and what comes out. And for me, a lot of what I was getting a lot of appreciation was about how open I'm about what was going on with me and in general. And I feel that I don't know, so many people are not wanting to or not able to share their life stories and stuff like that, just for whatever reason. But I enjoy doing that. I like, maybe by doing that, other people, it might rub off on other people because sharing,
Mhm.
the background of things and where you're from and what's going on and why are you doing work like this and what's the inspiration and impetus to do things like this. I think that's a great thing to share with everybody, especially in our creative fields. So,
Cool.
so yeah, I definitely enjoyed that, and especially putting the show together as I was, trying to consolidate pictures and see the arc that I was, where am I going and where am I coming from and where am I going and where am I now? And it was, gave me a lot of food for thought just on my own too. So,
Mm.
yeah. So, if anybody from Park West Camera Club is listening, thank you very much for inviting me. Maybe you want to have Ward and I on, because we can come as a
Okay.
team. I think we could do a live
Well,
podcast with you guys. Huh?
start arguing about something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, at least we can't
The
get
cage
up
match. What happened to the cage match? I think
Oh, the
it's
cage
been
match. We should
5
do that.
years. We need a cage match.
Oh yeah.
Fuji versus Olympus.
Yes. The thing is, we agree too much on things, right? We have to.
Well, that's the problem. We're too much in the same demographic, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, that was my other thing to do. Do you have something?
Cool.
You showed me some pictures.
Well, yeah,
something.
I had before Christmas, I ordered basically a zine. It's essentially a book. They call it a zine of Tetsuo Suzuki's latest work called The Sound of Waves. And it's about, oh goodness, I can't remember how thick it is, maybe 200 pages, something like that. It's a, perfect bound book. That whole black and white, high contrast Japanese zine kind of presentation, full bleed. I know all about that now. At least I think I do. And it's a very moving and in some ways disturbing depiction of someone's obsession with the sea.
Why
is what I'm getting out of it. Just a lot of, it seems he's obsessed with the waves and splashes and bubbles and foam. And then he's hired some models, and some models are juxtaposed in with this. And then there's some blurry shots of intersections in Tokyo and in Shinagawa, which is where he lives now, all kind of mashed together in a kind of metaphor form about how the sea calls and inundates you and soaks you and pulls you out and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of some kind of psychological thing going on with it. I haven't really absorbed too much of it. It seems like it'll be quite of a journey if I go through and turn page to page to page to page, because it's kind of relentless. So as an art piece, it's there's a lot going on. So that's the actual book itself. But what came with it was so delightful. There was a like a greeting card, a brown greeting card envelope that came with it. And then inside there was a little card with a puppy on it, a dog, kind of giving you the side eye with a thank you from Tetsuo Suzuki. And a postcard that says Happy New Year with one of the images that's in the book. Kind of interesting, hard to describe. Black and white high contrast, a young woman with the surf around here and a bright glare that's coming right past her. I don't know how that picture was taken. Some flash was fired at some point and there was a reflection, but it's very much like kind of like a divine aspect to it, a divine yet obscured view of this young woman. You have to look at it for a while to see that there's actually a young model in the picture. There was that, and then there was a fine print, an inkjet fine print. It was like 5x7 sized, and it was in its own little cello sleeve, like its own plastic sleeve, and it was signed and dated by him. Just fantastic.
Really? What made you? How did you find this? What made you? I mean, I figure why you ordered it, but what?
Well, I was just going through. There's this what's it called? There's a bookstore in Japan called, or it's an online bookstore, but I think they do have an actual physical store called Sha Sha Sha. I think the Sha 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 is the sound of books riffling. That's what I think where the name came from. And you just order these books, and I was just going through, and there's a whole lot of stuff that's out of print or I can't afford or whatever. And I go, oh, there's a Suzuki book. Oh, I think I'm going to afford this. So I just ordered it. And I think the reason why I had to wait so long, I'm not complaining, but I ordered it before Christmas, was I had to wait for Suzuki to come and sign however many hundreds of these books or these, prints and things that came with it. So I'm very happy to have it. I'm going to take my time and go through it, maybe when I have a weekend to myself or something, because it seems like it's quite heavy. It seems like the work is quite heavy, and it's not like the kind of razor sharp kind of commentary and stylistic presence of that the Friction Tokyo Street book, which is the one that came from Steidl. This one was printed at a local printing outfit, I think in Shinagawa. This is just southwest of Tokyo. So it's different. The quality of the pages are different, but they're amazing. So I'm happy to have it. Another thing to add with my 2-book weekend, I got the very definitely color and the very definitely black and white books.
Add to your ever increasing collection.
There was one other thing I got too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which I forgot to tell you. So while you were at the hockey game, my wife and I went out for a Chinese food. There's a little small town north of us, about a half an hour, and it was our cheap date night is to have this, Chinese buffet thing. So whatever, which I've come to realize now is partly a dodge to get me out of the house so we can go to the thrift store after. So, there's a thrift store up there. So we're going to the thrift stores. Like, why don't you go look at the books and see if they got any cameras or whatever. There's never any cameras. It's like, plastic junk from who knows where. But I found this children's magazine about photography. And I'm like, okay, well, it's in really good shape. And it came from Florida. I don't know, whatever. So I'm going through it. And I've never seen a condensation of history of photography condensed down into about 6 pages in my life. Like all the hits, all the things you can think of, like think of the history of photography. There's Eugene Adjei, and there's your friend Pete Turner, there's Lartigue, there's Ansel Adams, there's, it's like all of these, like, who would I pick if I was going to discuss photography for the first time with someone? And had all the hits, and I'm like, wow, this is great. So it was $1.79.
Or did it have
the whole
other
magazine?
stuff in it?
No, the whole thing. These magazines, apparently, I don't even know if they're still in business. This is like late 90s. And the whole point is there's a different subject every month. It was just educators who were doing this different subject matter every month. And this particular month, it happened to be photography. And it was like, wow, this is very cool. It was readable and accessible. Everything was a little factoid, but enough to get your interest up. So,
I'm
and in
looking
the
at one of
back,
the.
it's like, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
Oh no, there was in the back. They're like how to make your own pinhole camera, which
Oh,
is
really? Oh, that's really cool.
so. It's basically you take tin foil and you tape it to the front of a box, and then if you can, you slide one box inside another, put wax paper on the back, and then put a blanket over your head, and then you've got an upside down and back. We got a mini pinhole view camera, right? So you can slide the insert back and forth to do a kind of a zoom effect, but the image will get very dim if you pull it far out. But paint the inside of the box black and all this kind of stuff. It's very, very cute. So
I'm looking at one of the titles of the page. It says "The Art of Photography," and "Painting is dead." That was the reaction of one French artist in 1839 when he first heard about photography. His feelings were widely shared at the time because artists were afraid that people would not want paintings anymore, but they were wrong. Photography has a strong influence on painting and vice versa. Instead, photography has emerged as its own art form and developed its own rich history. You can't get any clearer than that.
no.
And right below it is a picture of Ansel Adams' Moonrise Hernandez, New Mexico, which is one of my favorite pictures. Yeah, that's really funny. Oh, cool. Yeah, this looks cool. It looks like one of those DK Dorling and Kindersley books.
Dorking Kindersley, yes.
Dorking Kindersley, like a lot of small pictures, a lot of little paragraphs, a lot of things.
Yeah.
I loved those kind of. Actually, if I had one of these when I was a kid, I would definitely become a photographer. I was looking at this. I love these little. Oh, they have Bruce Davison pictures too.
Yeah.
Youths in Coney Island. Wow. Wow, they got a lot of stuff in here. Yeah. So, yeah, you can't get the. Oh, they have the first photograph at 1827.
Nicephore Niepce. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
A lot going on. So I'm like, that goes in my library. I don't know. It was the after all the money I spent on books, this one $1.79 plus tax. So
and they have
sign me up.
Oh, they have a whole page. They have a whole double page spread on Lartigue.
On Lartigue, yeah.
The car with the wheel spinning and his sister jumping off the stairs and maybe his uncle falling down. Like all the fun pictures that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. What did it cost you? Hopefully it didn't cost too much.
$1.79 plus tax.
$1.79 plus tax. In Canadian dollars. What is that in America?
Canadian dollars, which is like a quarter, I guess, in US dollars.
Okay.
$1.50, maybe $1.35, something like that.
That's cool. So any upcoming stuff? I know we just spent probably the entire show talking about what we've been doing. I haven't really gotten into anything, but what's coming up for you project-wise?
I've got project-wise?
Yeah, or anything. What are you going to be shooting? I mean, we're in the middle of February. Weather affects us deeply in terms of I don't know how it affects you, but so anything.
Well, it slows things down. I mean, my street work, I'm not doing any street work really to speak of. I mean, I go out and take pictures of the dog. But this weekend, I have two things I am planning. One is there's a local photographer, Steve Spear, who's taken pictures called Building the Bow or Building by the Bow, which is pictures he's taken over the last 40 years of downtown buildings, some of which don't exist anymore. And they're big, big fine prints printed on, what do they call them? They call them carbon prints on fancy Japanese paper. So, and they're big, I imagine they're 24 or 30 inches across as well. And also I'm going to see on Saturday night at the Central Library, Alec Soth is going to be here.
Oh, right.
To talk about how to begin again is the name of the talk. So
what do you think that's going to mean? How to begin again?
How to get out of the doldrums and get onto your next project is what I think is going to be about. So
it's interesting. Is he coming up north specifically for a reason, or is that like an ongoing talk, or is it like? You guys up there?
Well,
need to
I'm
get out of the
wondering
doldrums?
after we got Todd Hido last year if we had made a little ripple
Yeah.
with some of the documentary guys that kind of follow the space and know it got around what kind of a vibrant photography community we have here in Calgary. So that's what part of me is thinking. So, and it's exactly a year after Todd Hido was here, and it's kind of like a keynote speech of these whatever you want to call them, the exposure festival.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I got my ticket, and so I'm going to go that and
well, you'll have to report in about that, because I'm really curious about the doldrums, and if that's like, I want to hear what you have to say about that, because I feel like photographically.
Well, he has. I know he said he has struggled. He struggles mentally in between projects. So, be interested to see what he
his
says.
Projects require a lot of, logistics and stuff like that. He's not just going out with a. I don't know if he's still using the 8x10 or whatever large format camera he does use, but that isn't just like, oh, well, I'm going to go out and take pictures today. That requires a lot of energy, mental, physical as well to do that. And I can imagine someone like him or anybody who's trying to pick up a project that requires a lot of energy. It's so much easier to say, I don't feel like it, And but even with smaller cameras and maybe less, we still have the same issues. Like we get sort of stuck. And what's the next project? I would have loved to talk to you more about that, because I'm not in the doldrums yet, but I've got so many things I want to do. It's almost like there's too many options, So like like not a deer in headlights. What is it when like a donkey a starving donkey being surrounded by all this food, and it doesn't know which way to go, so it starves to death. And all. It's a bit dramatic, and I'm not saying I'm starving to death.
Wow, that's dark.
Well, I don't mean, it's just the idea that sometimes when you can have so many choices, don't know where to start or what to pursue. And the idea of having multiple projects, I always told students, like, it's nice to have multiple projects going on, because then if you come across something, you can always just throw it in and add it. But I don't really ever talk about, like, when is it time to end something? When is it like, okay, I've done this enough. I've photographed enough chairs on the street, and I've got enough to make a book, or I'm done with it. I'm repeating myself, and I don't know what the solution is or anything like that, but there's that goes on with me a lot, and then what I end up doing is finding somebody to distract me and start something new. Like, oh, well, now I want to do, aerials and stuff, and start something else and leave a lot of things untied. So I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
No, I was just saying, the way you were talking, I just wrote an article a little while ago about the destination and the journey, like which pictures are your destinations and which are your continuing along the journey of something, and do you, maybe some idea of when to give it up. I can't do any better than this, or I'm bored of this subject and jump off. I don't really think. I think of, because I have these set pieces I have every year. Right? I have the rodeo every year. I have the Stampede every year. Planning this second trip to Japan. Like they're destinations. They're the only reason in my head to be there is to shoot them, right? And so I have that planning. I always have that to look forward to. And if it's a bust, if the weather is bad and or I'm sick or I don't bother, I'm just hanging with friends and sitting by the fire, and it's not the end of the world. But yeah, it's a good point. And I like you, I would be really interested to see what he has to say, because I really love a lot of the stuff that he does. I have two of his books. I've got Sleeping by the Mississippi, and I have a very interesting and not as accessible as some of his other books called I Know How Furiously Your Heart is Beating. Hard to describe, but it's a kind of an evolution, sort of like a physical movement through presumably a library in a university, with a woman obscured by the books on the bookshelves. And there's definitely a different feel to it. It's sort of like one perspective. It's not like Sleeping by the Mississippi or Songbook where it's a collection of subjects. Here it's like an evolution of one particular moment of a few minutes. This is a different idea for a project. But yeah, I'm curious to know what for sure what he has to say.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, I'm waiting. Well, waiting. I don't want to fly my drone now because of the weather. And did I mention that I crashed it last time?
Yeah, you had a tree, and you were gonna set a
and I just as a follow up, I sent it in, and within the week, I got a new one sent to me.
Oh, nice.
DJI, thumbs up, you guys. That was really good. And I think their little card said, don't treat your drone like this. Try to do this. Take this thing off when you're about to fly. And then I said, it also says, don't fly into the effing trees.
Is that what it says?
No, it didn't. But it was like, I was reading it. And it was like, it had a feeling of like,
funny.
It had a little feeling of like, yeah, you try to pay attention next time. It was like, it's like, okay.
But if you're 12 years old and you get that card back, it's sort of like, that would be like soul crushing.
Yeah, no, gosh. But I got the message. It's like, yes, thank you. I understand. I am not going to do that again. Although I've heard that you might do it. But I'm wanting to explore this place from the sky, and it's a completely different kind of photography. I mean, more akin to landscape and stuff, and doing aerials and finding patterns. I'm really into the patterns that I'm seeing here. At least some of them that, like, we've flown over some lakes, and they're man-made lakes too, from the Army Corps of Engineers. So I'm told, and so they're very like, there are edges to them. There's dams or causeways that have really definitive lines in them, and I really like the sort of stark lines that they create with the water and the like a bright white walkway and a roadway next to it. And so those kind of straight down patterns that I can see, they're really intriguing to me. And so, I want to do that when I'm not freezing cold. Although this week coming up, the weather seems to be, we were just down like 3 degrees last night, and it's going to go back up to the 30s. And so that's a good temperature to fly. I don't mind flying. Yeah. And it might still be some snow on the ground, which also can create really nice patterns. Although it'll be a week old and some traipse through and stuff. But I mean, like, that's kind of the next thing I want to do. But I don't have a definitive, like, final thing. Like, what am I doing? I just feel like I'm testing the waters. This is one of the things I talked about at the Park West Camera Club, is that I feel a little bit, I might have mentioned this before since I moved here, that I feel a little bit like I'm in school again. Like, there's a lot of different options for, like, where do I want to go? What is it that I want to focus on? And what's the next, chapter of photography that I'm going to start tackling and really hang on to. I mean, street photography is street photography. I still do it, when we get the events that are coming up, and I love doing those. I'm certainly going to do more of them when they come up. But what is the thing that's going to be the signature? And I don't know. I really don't know. And I just have these different ideas of what could do. And I think I should also stop and, like, as your zine is being more popular, and I'm so happy for you that you're getting a lot of good responses on your zine. And I realized two things. First of all, probably people are going to say, "Oh, he's going to talk about this again." Like, although I just pulled our zine out, the one that we did collaborative together to show Angie tonight. I don't think she ever saw it, but to take that, reformat it into something smaller, and then put that onto the world. And maybe we need to like tweak it again. I don't know. Maybe we should take a look at it together and see what the pictures are like. But
Sure.
Like it might be now time to start, collecting my New York street photography. And maybe I have a certain idea of certain kinds of pictures that I've taken that I never really showed. And I was just scrolling through my Lightroom catalog before we were on the air. And I was like, oh man, I shot, like there's stuff that I don't remember photographing. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I was like, oh, and that's really interesting. And that's an interesting person. And like, that's an interesting gesture. And sort of, I have to say, inspired by you, by what you did and what I've seen, in just your regular work and the stuff that you have in the zine, like it's got to be time to start putting things into print. So maybe if I'm not doing photography, I should be doing that. And there's so many options now for printing. Like I want to use the place that you used for your zine. I want to give that a shot. And I certainly want to put our zine out together. And I mean, we worked hard on it, and I only printed one copy of it. But get
I really like the form factor of that of the zine that I produced. That's 6 by 9 inch. I think it's a kind of pleasing little size.
Yeah, and it feels
it's stiff. It holds together as a thing.
Yeah, you can hold it with one hand. You can stick it in a small bag. You can collect a lot of them, So I think that's what I'll reformat ours to do. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at, And the other thing is I got to put my office back together. I got to get all my photography equipment sort of in one place because it's all sort of scattered around. So I have sort of an intention to make really build up my photography business here. So again,
cool.
It'd be great to do that. So anyway, that's it. We just spent our whole show talking.
Don't forget the hockey. See if you can get some hockey in there.
Well, the hockey, yes, yeah, but
just to do like a Saturday night, nothing else going on.
Maybe I could
stop by the concession, have a hamburger, just do whatever. Yeah, do a skate. Yeah, that'd be fun too.
Yeah. And I'm behind glass, so the glass is clean, and photograph it. And so.
Oh, that's okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's not an issue. I know some rinks have a little porthole that you can take out, that you can poke your lens through.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the one time the hockey puck finds the hole.
But it happens,
120 miles an hour. So, before we wrap, I just want to mention to you and then everybody else, next episode will be our 250th episode.
Yay!
Yay! And there was much rejoicing. I'm trying to I would like to get a guest on. I got a message out to someone. I won't want to say who it is yet because I don't want to commit, but I do want to acknowledge that now, because when we're in the 250, we'll be doing some other talk. But I do want to say, we're at 249 today, and that means in a few weeks we'll be doing 250. And that, you were around for 200. So, and I don't know when we started together. So, I can't remember the episode that we started.
I don't know, somewhere in 2017, 2018, I don't know. It's pretty far back.
So it's pretty far back. So. Just wanted to recognize that, and I'm hoping that we can do something special. If it's just not the two of us, if we have a guest or two, to sort of, I think that's a nice, 250 is a nice round number. That's a lot. It also means the United States are going to be 250 years old too. So that's kind of a interesting coincidence. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there that we're going to try to have someone on the show. If not that someone, we'll try to have someone else on the show. Maybe we can get some of our unusual collective guys to come on. We get them every get them every 50 episodes. Hopefully a lot sooner than that. So anyway, that being that, we've talked enough. We realized we're talked enough. All right, I'm done. Where are we finding you? Where are you located in this dimension?
I'm on Vero, Twitter, and Blue Sky at W Rosin Photo. Instagram, I'm at Ward Rosin Fine Art. On Facebook, I am at Ward Rosin Photo, and my website where you can purchase my new zine Gaijin from Japan, or we've got a couple of copies left of Between Dust and Sky, which is a rodeo book that Mark and I did. They're also for sale at rosin.ca, rosin.ca.
Can your website be our new unofficial sponsor?
Okay, we'll make it a sponsor for the next show, maybe.
Yeah. Just remember, buy that zine. He's got some copies. He's going to run out, so buy the zine. Please buy the zine. So yeah.
I was asked point blank if I was going to make it a limited edition, and I'm like, no, I don't think
why
so.
Would you do
I
that?
think anyone who wants one should have one. And I like the idea of like the Cafe Press books. That gentleman that we talked to from the UK a couple of years ago, I love those little zines, and they were the inspiration for the sizing of Gaijin. So all right,
don't limit things.
No. Okay, and Mr. Antonio, where can we find you on the internet?
So I'm on Blue Sky at AM Rosario, Instagram AM Rosario Photo. I'm actually starting to use that a little bit more. My website amrosario.com. I'm actually in the middle of putting up print sales, so that'd be another way for you guys to support the show, is by buying some prints. Don't go there at this very second. Well, actually, you might be able to. I got a few more days to publish the episode, so yeah, go and check it out. I should have something up there. But anyway, amrosario.com. On Facebook, I'm Rosario Photo, so you can always find me there. But subscribe to our Substack newsletter. Ward just put up a great article about the zine that he made. It's getting a lot of good response, and so that's a great way to stay in touch with us. It's a nice way to dialogue. Streetshots.substack.com. Please subscribe, and tell your friends to subscribe, and tell your mom to subscribe, and tell your uncles to subscribe, and your local business leader, tell them to subscribe. Anyway, subscribe to our Substack. It's free, by the way. And if you want to support the show, you can always buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Antonio Rosario. Another way to be an honorary producer of the show. We would appreciate that so much, because then we could have a beer while we're recording the show or something along that line.
Not lemon honey tea like I'm drinking.
No, not lemon. Well, and I
a little
have
under the weather.
I have water in a Pepsi glass, so yeah, I'm trying to keep it cool.
Keep it civil.
Yeah. All right, man. So that's February. Wow, that's a quick month. That's gone by quick.
Yeah.
And middle of March, the Ides of March will be our next ballpark kind of time, and that'll be episode
number 250. Hoping for a guest. Cross my fingers.
Hoping for a guest. That's it. Yeah, put it on the notes. Put it on your calendar. All right. Hey, man, thanks for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, and for all you folks out there, we will see you in a couple of weeks. Hopefully you're not bogged down with too much snow, and warm weather's coming for those of us in the northern hemisphere. I think it's going the other way around in the southern hemisphere, but you guys hang in there, right? So have a good night, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
You bet. Good night.